Welcome to Get Shirty, the podcast where we ask our guests about the things in life that just never fail to irritate and get them all shirty. The chat focuses on home, work and going out, but could go anywhere. And it's not all doom and gloom, as each guest gets a made-to-measure shirt which they design, so we talk about that too. Funny that, us being tailors. So, episode 6 has arrived, and our guest is actor and writer James Barriscale. James's career has seen him act on stage and screen. He's starred in productions for the RSC and the Royal National Theatre, and in the West End. On TV, there aren't many programmes he hasn't been in, from soaps to dramas, and he can currently be seen in Sexy Beast on Paramount. James isn't a stranger to movies either, with films such as The Death of Stalin and Terminator Dark Fate under his belt. We cover a lot of ground during our chat, like how to stay calm, standing up to bullies, and how to make an impression on your first day at school. Listen out for the Eric Morecombe impression too, it's a good one. So here we go, 1 guest, 2 mics, 3 tailors and a host of irritations. Let's get shirty. Let me welcome you officially, James, to the Get Shirty podcast.
Thank you very much.
That's all right. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Great.
We are fed and watered, and
we are indeed
ready to go.
Lovely shop round the corner, bacon sarnies.
Bacon sarnies, I know. Bacon sarnies and coffee. It's a regular Tuesday thing. And as we said earlier, you're the first person to benefit. So yeah, we won't tell the others.
No, please don't.
You know, but
thank you.
You never know. They might listen.
Exactly.
We'll get some sort of email. Or you didn't. Yes, I got the shirt, but no, I didn't get.
Yeah, I won't do the Richard Harris thing when he was carried out of the Savoy, going, "It's the food, it's the food."
Oh, really?
When he had his heart attack. Yeah. Don't touch the food.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great. Now there was a character.
Yeah. All of my heroes were those sort of actors in the 60s.
Yeah.
Because they opened up the floodgates to all the working class actors, and we got all those incredible talents coming through. Yeah. O'Toole, Burton, Finney, Alan Bates, all of them.
Oliver Reed.
Yeah. All working class, brilliant talents just coming through, because they said anyone can come. It's now not exclusive.
Yeah, because I suppose it used to be the people who had the money, who could afford to not do the work that they needed to do to earn the money, so they could sort of partake in what was seen as a leisure activity, I suppose.
Yeah, but what was there to perform? I mean, it was all the working class films and plays that came out in the late 50s, 60s.
It's interesting, actually. A lot of the things that I've seen lately, people, or listened to podcasts where they've been talking to actors, Kes has come up quite a lot.
Oh, wow.
Lately, in terms of, I think it was Samantha Morton, actually, and she might have talked about it at the BAFTAs. I haven't watched it, but I saw there was a thing about it this week. Her saying that Kes was a thing for me, because I watched it and I was like, oh, look, there's people like me.
Yeah.
Who they're telling stories about.
Yeah.
Like you say, opens up the door.
Well, I have a weird thing where I think I'm working class.
Right.
And yet my dad's side came from middle class Irish family that came over in the 50s to work at the Ford factory in Leamington.
Right.
A lot of immigrants came over then to just fill those places. And my mum's family were, my father was Royal Marines,
right.
And they ran pubs. He was in the Masons, and
right.
So we weren't working class on either side. And yet I'm drawn to, as an actor, to all those working class actors. So I once had a big argument with a friend of mine in my drinking days, and he was saying, "You're not working class." I said, I am more working class. He said, "You're middle class." I said, "Your parents have a bakery and a food," and I said, "No, but they work." They work from like 4 a.m. till like 6 p.m. They're working class. So in my head, I was always wanting to be, always kind of fighting injustice. And I think because my dad was Irish, you also got a different perspective on growing up as an Englishman with an Irish dad. So I'm first generation. you know,
Sure.
from my dad's side. So I lent towards that.
Yeah.
And you know, you're going to lean towards the Irish, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
The music, the poetry, you know, the fighting,
the storytelling.
yeah.
Holding court to a degree, you know.
Absolutely.
That sort of, it's a presence, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And my dad said, never let a lie get in the way of a good story. If you've got a good yarn, you know. And you know, you're watching Dave Allen as a kid growing up, and all those great kind of
Yeah.
It
was funny with Dave Allen. He was that program that I was just about. Well, I knew it wasn't meant for me because I don't know how old I would have been, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. But it was one of those ones that if I sort of crept back down the stairs, I could sort of manage to get away with sitting on the settee and watching it before it was like, oh, what are you doing here? You know,
it was just on the cusp.
Yeah.
It wasn't rude, but some of it was suggestive. Wasn't it? Some of the But even like Two Ronnies and stuff, sometimes they were. Morecambe and Wise were never blue.
No,
not really. There's been a couple of gags where I've gone, oh, that's interesting. But Two Ronnies had all the dressing up as women more in the kind of like fanar, which
Ronnie Barker apparently didn't like. Dressing up as women at all. He did it for the sake of the bit, apparently.
Well, that's interesting.
Not that I'm an expert on these things, but that's what I've read. I've read that he didn't really like it.
No, exactly.
But it was
more. I think Monty Python was mine. I would sneak into my mum and dad's bedroom. They had a little black and white portable, and we used to try and turn it on quietly. But it was one of those TVs where you had to hold it and pull it out.
Right,
and it made a massive click. Yeah, it really did.
And the
Make sure the volume was down before you did it.
Did it have the dial? Did it have the dial as well to tune it?
Oh yeah, and there were a little round area at the back.
Yeah,
but we used to watch Monty Python on that quietly. While mum and dad were downstairs.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So is that the thing that sort of got you into? You know, what was the thing that made you go, oh yeah, this is what I want to do?
My dad's love of film. Right. So we had a video recorder in 1978.
Wow.
Yeah.
With the big long lead to the remote. Yeah,
it did,
nice.
But it also had audio dub. So we learned that very quickly. Like, I could plug a mic in, and we could. I mean, I didn't like the music at the end of Thunderball, so I rescored the music with another track from John Barry, and put in sound effects and stuff. Exactly. My love of editing and acting kind of came from my dad's love of. So he used to stop films and go, look at this scene.
Oh,
look at what they do. I remember him slowing down the arrow from Henry V when they shoot all the arrows into the air, and it must have been done with probably a mixture of real arrows and animation, probably.
Yeah.
But he used to slow that down frame by frame. And there was a bit in Errol Flynn's Robin Hood, right at the beginning, where an arrow goes through a flame in a candle and blows the flame out and goes into the back of the sheriff's man. And it's obviously Robin from off camera doing it. You don't really see him at first in the beginning of the film. And we used to slow that down.
Right.
We got it to the point where we actually realised it was a little bit late, the candle going out.
Oh, was it?
And it was obviously a spring arrow that came out. But all those, his passion for films and there used to be old movies on a Saturday lunchtime, didn't there? Or on BBC Two. Double bill, normally Jimmy Cagney and me and my dad used to often sit down if the Irish weren't playing rugby. We used to sit down and just watch movies together. And I always remember it as being a very kind of me and him thing.
Oh, nice.
And then later on, my younger brother came out. And I used to make him dress up as Jane Seymour while I did Roger Moore for
Did you go with the bun hair as well?
My brother Sam had amazing curly hair.
Okay.
But I would always make him be the Bond girl.
Yeah.
And we'd play it on the TV, on the video, and we'd pause it, and then we'd reenact whatever scene. Not obviously. I'm thinking of the airport scene.
Of course.
Hits him with a handbag, and then he runs off into the plane. Yeah.
See, now, as a younger brother, I feel your brother's pain. I've got an older sister who's about 4 years older than me. So for me, it was being made to do dances.
Oh.
That was the thing. So if the latest song came out, you've got to do a dance to it. That was what she. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. Walk on the Wild
phones with cameras weren't around.
Yeah. I know. I remember my granddad walking in. We were staying at their house. My granddad walked in with me having to do a performance of Walk on the Wild Side, Lou Reed, for my sister while she went, yeah, like that. So, and my granddad, and I was I remember being mortified when he walked in. I was so embarrassed because I was really, I wasn't holding back. Everything was there, but
I kind of feel sorry because there's just two of you there.
Yeah, it was just the two of us.
Because there's four of us.
Right, okay.
And the two older brothers had nothing to do with the business. at all.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
They didn't. There were hockey players. One listened to like the Jam and ska, and the other one like rock music, like AC/DC and heavy metal. And they used to share a bedroom together, and they used to have proper fights.
Right.
And meanwhile, me and my younger brother Sam are in the other bedroom, literally going through Shirley Bassey albums or whatever it was. Or I used to take my tape recorder into cinemas and record Bond films.
Right.
On literally the C90 tapes. I used to have 2 tapes, and I used to have to turn them over halfway through each time. And I would get back, and I would just sit in bed and play the film again.
Wow.
Yeah. But it wasn't small. I don't know how I got away with it. It was a huge, the ones with the tape on the front.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got away with it. Amazing. But I used to sit at the front so nobody would actually see me doing it, because nobody really liked sitting right near the front.
Yeah.
But I used to go and buy the albums of the films before I saw the film. So I'd go to Magpie Records in Worcester and then have the album and then look at it and read it and watch the film. And I used to love sound. I still do. I love soundtracks.
Right.
Always have.
So... And do you think that's sort of where the editing, because you do editing as well, don't you?
So I started doing show reels for other actors about 2008 when I was doing St Joan at the National. Another actor, a lovely actor called Jamie Ballard, who played the older Harry Potter in the stage show for a long time. Jamie,
right.
He's a lovely, lovely guy. But he said, listen, I know you've done a short film. Would you mind having a look at the material I've got for And in those days, it was very difficult to burn things off from DVDs. Now it's very difficult because no one can get their programs off the skyboxes or the streaming channels that they have. I source material for other actors, and I put their reels together. And the skill I think in editing is infinite. You never end up not learning something when you sit down. A new problem or because everything is shot the way it's shot. Everything is individual, but also the scene might require the actor to give something in their reel that they haven't given in any other scene that they've supplied to me. So I'm always thinking, okay, what can we bring out in this one? So I often recut the scenes, taking the other actors out slightly, or even sometimes getting a previous scene if they're wearing the same costume or something to make up the scene as if it's one scene. So there's lots of different tricks you can do. You can flip an image to make it, to change it, or I often put dialogue from the other actor underneath the shot when it goes back to the actor whose showreel it is.
Right.
So there's more screen time for them. So there's all sorts of little tricks. Most showreel people will just cut the scenes and just
clip,
there you go.
Yeah.
That's your scene. But I tend to try and make it the best.
Yeah, that's great.
Sometimes I even put my own music, like going back to me being, on Thunderball, putting my music on. But I often put music underneath that's from a different project to give it more tension, and some of them can be really good shows.
Yeah.
But for the point of the show reel, I just want to have the biggest impact in the shortest time.
Yeah.
Because I love trailers as well.
Yeah.
I don't tend to watch trailers anymore. I think as I've got older, I've gone, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Don't show me, because so often the trailer does give away
too much.
Like massive
you think, I don't need to watch
that
now.
Yeah.
They've shown me the end, and
we all know how good the trailer for Godzilla was, the 1998 one, and we all saw that. It wasn't anything like the trailer. It was very disappointing, but that one scene from the trailer that's in the film of Godzilla breaking up the jetty was the best bit in the film.
It's so that's always annoying, isn't it, when they do that? I was listening to.
Well, I wouldn't say annoying. That's a little bit strong.
Wow.
I get a little bit shirty about it, but
hey, well done. And look, it's good. I was enjoying the chat too much. So look, let's use that. Well done, sir. So the idea behind this podcast, rather than us just having a good chat, is to also talk about the things in life which make us a little bit shirty. Hence it being called Get Shirty.
Yes.
The other thing that we do is we'll tailor a shirt for you. So we've been through that already this morning, and you've gone quite classic. I think. Yeah.
I have. Being a chunky fella.
Chunky fella.
We were talking about this earlier.
Not
we?
wide.
And the way that no, and definitely not fat. How do you feel? You are, what size you are. It's an interesting thing, because when you get shirts from shops, I think most people probably get some kind of, annoyance about anything.
There's always a compromise.
Yeah. But I think the thing that probably gets me a little bit, shopping in general for clothes gets me very frustrated very, very quickly. So I do tend to get myself into a bit of a shirty thing. But it's no one's fault.
No.
Obviously, I blame the designers and the shop that I'm in at the time. But I end up going in, and I think I get a little bit, not panicky, but I get a little bit, I can feel it coming on. I can feel the frustration because I know, and it's two things. It's A, why haven't I worked out more? Why haven't I exercised more? And then because it makes you feel very subconscious. But the clothes you try on, there's two things. The main one is the fly length.
Right.
So on modern jeans and trousers, anywhere trendy, anywhere, the depth of the fly is about 2 inches.
Yeah.
It's like they've made it for a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And I'm literally like, so the only places you can really go for like jeans is places like M&S, who start to do things like expandable waists and a decent size length of fly and all those things. As you get older, you really go, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
And you start being less trendy. And more, about comfort and about... but the other thing is excess material. That's the other thing that really annoys me, is the fact that there's so much excess material on the bits you don't want, and the bits you do want, obviously. Yeah,
well, and for you as well,
enough.
Because you've got a big neck. Let's say how it is.
Dare you?
I know, it's very rude, isn't it?
How that was told to you in confidence.
Yeah, well, look, sir.
I'm phone my agent, it's my news agent.
Well... Look, as a fellow wide-necked gentleman,
you have a manly. How dare you?
You have a. All right, look, we can cut all that out. Cut that.
So when I was very skinny, as a sort of from the ages of about 7 to about 12, my dad was a rugby player, semi-pro, because they weren't professional rugby players when my dad played, but he played for Leamington Spa, part of the college, and he loved rugby, so I loved rugby.
Yeah,
and I was a scrum half, but then I wasn't the right shape. Now I kind of am in the right shape to be scrum half. But I was nippy and short. But my neck has definitely got...
Yeah, but I would imagine it's always been a manly... How's that? Manly.
I was literally stick thin as a kid.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
right.
But Mum and Dad had a bakery, so...
Yeah.
Mum and Dad got a bakery, then Mum and Dad have a bakery.
Yeah.
So,
what are you going to do?
Donuts out of the fryer,
Yeah, nice.
So there was a point when I was about 13, just getting into theatre and stuff, down my local theatre in Worcester, where I've got one photograph where you can see the neck. It's starting to, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm in my school uniform and you go, hello. Yeah.
But, see, like for myself, I'm a 17.5-inch neck, which is...
considerable.
Yeah, I think considerable. Perhaps that's...
But not offensive.
Well, look, there are many phrases that we use in the tailoring world to try and circumnavigate the...
Oh, this is brilliant. We need some more for my...
Yeah. Well, like, no one's got a big arse in the tailoring world. It just doesn't exist. Sir has...
Apart from that one guy.
Yeah. Well, even that one guy, what he has is a prominent seat.
Very good.
Yeah, so there's all these... Good. But perhaps I just haven't found the right one for
Isn't
neck.
a prominent seat sort of, I don't know, like a by-election?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Well... Yeah, so some more prominent than others. Yeah, good old Tunbridge Wells, and it's
a prominent seat. There you go.
Yeah, flat seats, prominent seats.
Very good.
Yeah. So
anything else for a wide neck?
Well, that's the chink in my armour. Obviously, that's the bit that I haven't managed to get.
We need to come up with a new phrase.
Yeah. So, well, perhaps we can revisit
Fabulous
that.
neck.
Yeah, what a...
Fabulous.
Yeah, so even sturdy, manly, that's not quite right, is it?
£9 a pound.
Yeah.
You know the Far Side cartoon where the butcher is cutting meat and the assistant next to him is a very large boy.
Right.
And there's I think it's an ox or a cow that's got a hat and a big mac on, like he's doing something dodgy. And the butcher's going, well, I've never considered it before, but I suppose I could let him go for... $9 a pound, whatever it is. Basically, selling the person in the butcher shop for meat.
Yeah.
So I think we need to come up with a new phrase.
Yeah, for an
obscene no, for a absurd no.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but is this one of the largest necks you've ever measured?
No, but it
could get me work. I could put it on the CV.
If we could start like a Top Gear style. Leaderboard, and you at the moment you would be quite near the top, maybe not number one, but I'd have to go back through the paperwork.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think that's a brilliant idea. Yeah.
So we could add that into the get shirty podcast sort of structure.
Is it true that Judy Finnegan made everyone cut out the real sizes of her dress and put in a smaller size?
Really? I don't know.
Is that not well known in the public?
I didn't know that.
Realm?
But for now, it's true.
I don't listen to gossip, you see.
No,
But
you just make it up.
Exactly. I'm the one who starts it.
Actually, in the time that I've since meeting you, you have
Yes.
said the phrase, "Is it true that?" more than once. Did you said that earlier?
Yes, exactly.
Is it true that
They've arrived to arrest us. I don't know if you can hear that. The police have arrived.
It's the Judy Finnegan police.
I think it's the talent police. Get him. I think they should have that on stage. You should have refs coming on stage with red cards and yellow cards to get actors off, pausing, overacting. You could have all sorts of different things.
So, well, look, this might lead nicely into your. It's almost like you've done this before, sir.
Don't get a bunch of actors in the dressing room with plenty of time on their hands.
Oh yeah, I can imagine actually. So, what we talk about from a Get Shirty point of view: work, home, going out. They're the sort of three areas we focus on, but you haven't got to stick to those.
Well, I don't live anywhere and I never go out, so...
Perfect. Well, let's just focus on work.
And right now I'm not working.
Well, it's been lovely talking with you.
Goodbye.
Join us next time.
Here's Ginny with the weather.
Yeah, good luck, Ginny. So work, rest, play. That's what we look at.
Very good.
So from the Mars bar.
Have you been drinking?
Yeah, not yet. Maybe by the end. But with work, what are your things? Is that one of your things?
What
overacting that get you shirty?
Get me shirty.
Yeah, not just like.
I thought this was Desert Island Discs. Here's the thing. It was really fascinating to hear about the podcast,
right?
Because I think depending on who you ask, getting shirty is something that you try and discourage as you get older. I think. I think as it's all part of growing up and kind of learning about stuff. And I think a lot of people that I know that of my age, because I'm 54 now, a lot of people in my kind of age, we tend not to. We try and sort stuff out, Yeah. And I know that I would have got very shirty about certain things 15 years ago. 20 years ago, and it's not just moving to Whitstable. I haven't just chilled out, but that's part of it.
Right.
I think once you take yourself out of a situation that gets you annoyed and gets you frustrated, like in London, having to go into work every single day on the tube would eventually, after even a couple of days, would start to go. So people get Bromptons or they get whatever, and we all kind of do stuff to kind of make our lives better. But even then, you've got the kind of Tour de France going into the centre of London, and it's anything to do with getting a bunch of people into a small space is going to get you peeved. And when I was in London, every time I used to live in Highbury and I used to travel down into London on the 19 bus, every single day there'd be an altercation.
Right.
Normally not too bad, but sometimes violence, sometimes really bad stuff.
Right.
People being really hurt. And I just had enough of the violence, I think.
Yeah.
So really, as far as being shirty goes, I try to think, in fact, it's not even that. It all comes from knowing that life can be very, very bad.
Right.
And if you've been through something that has really, really made you very sad, you kind of go, well, that's the worst it can be.
Yeah, perspective.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I think I've always tried to kind of, as I've got older, I've got more and more like Jim Henson. Right. Where he kind of literally talks about, that it's just not important. It's just, none of it's important. Love we have for each other and all of that kind of stuff. I know it's quite deep, but it kind of makes your life better. So if someone does pee me off, I brush it off so quickly now. It surprises me.
Right, well, that's good.
I actually surprise myself.
Right.
Now, there are certain things. Are we on work now?
We're on work, yeah. So
with work, nothing really upsets me with work unless there's an injustice, and that's the same with home or going out or whatever it is. But when you work with people, we all know what it's like to work with people who are unfair on other people. Yeah. And there's a real hierarchy thing that goes on, especially on film sets and TV sets, where the extras that are now they're called supporting artists now, given a bit more respect and they used to be treated really badly. I saw when I was younger, an SA be physically moved by a director who was shouting in her ear, and I remember I was only about 25 or something. It was on a BBC One thing, and I just stopped and said, "I'm not carrying on until you apologise to her." Right. I've always had this kind of like. And people are like, shh, don't, what are you doing?
Yeah, don't rock the boat.
And I've always rocked the boat. And sometimes that can really actually not just pee off the people that you're confronting, but that can actually upset other people.
Right.
So you have to be very careful. And sometimes I've done it when it actually has upset the company or the cast, and they just want a quiet life,
right?
And they just want to get on with it. And I'm sure it has affected my work in some areas. But I can't bear when someone gets treated badly, because there's a sort of pre-imposed thing. But let's say David Jason was in the wrong place, and that same director wanted him to, and he hadn't heard him. He wouldn't physically move him.
No.
He wouldn't pick him up and go, "There, man!"
Right.
What he did. And I was like, everyone on set was like, whoa, I've kind of given away his nationality a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you don't see that anymore. Right. You don't see that kind of behaviour. I think it's because of two things. One, I think people now are terrified about getting sued or in trouble. But two, so many more women are in the profession now as directors.
Right.
And I've noticed the change in atmosphere and in producing and casting and everything else. I think it's a major. I think that brings in a much more. I think men have had their kind of their hold on things in all sorts of professions.
Yeah.
And not necessarily for the best.
And also tried to protect that. You know, this is what I've got.
Yeah.
So.
And what do they do when they're trying to protect? They shout and stamp and.
Yeah. And throw the weight
badly. Yeah.
It's that sort
of.
No,
you shut up! Yeah, and everyone's eventually just like, can we just get the day done and get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to go.
Yeah. And really now you don't see that now. Which is really, really
stepping
lovely.
In the right direction.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. I like it when I don't want to go to the full kind of like at the end of The Exorcist where apparently William Friedkin wasn't getting the performance he wanted out of the priest at the end, so he slapped him as hard as he could across the face. And then roll the cameras, you do the scene. And, you know, that's the scene that ended up in the film.
Yeah.
It's really good. I'm not saying we all need to be slapped across the face. But there is a point where I think not having... I don't think the answer is everyone being offended all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the answer. Yeah. The way it's gone has so many positives, and it's the world. I've lost out to other actors because they didn't want a white guy playing that role.
Sure.
Now you can have someone who gets very angry about that and go, but I never do. I go, it's a shame that, but I understand that when I turn the television on, I want to see the world I want to see on that TV. I don't want to see a bunch of white blokes and not have people of all nationalities and all colours in that programme.
Yeah.
Because it's not reflective and it's not healthy for anyone. Because also, when are people ever going to get, it's like, women being excluded from so many parts of our profession all these years? When are people going to get the chance to be and learn and be a part of this amazing thing? So it only happened to me just before Christmas, and it was like they've gone another way because of this. And I've heard other people in the profession stamping their feet about that, and I'm like, but that's the world I want to be in.
Yeah,
I don't see a kind of a negative to it.
And it goes back to what what we were talking about at the beginning there, about these sort of classic actors, your Burtons, your Oliver Reed, these sorts of people who were like, oh, they're doing what I want to do, and they're like me. Yeah, if you don't see yourself represented somewhere,
yes, exactly,
then you don't believe that that's possible for you.
Yeah.
So your Get Shirty actually is it's a noble one then, isn't it, really?
Thank you.
Because it's getting shirty on other people's behalf.
Yes. Although I like I say, in my earlier days I would get shirty about all sorts of things.
Everything and anything.
And it's normally a mirror up to the fact that you're not very happy about things.
Right.
Yourself.
Yeah.
We've all seen those videos, haven't we, of Karens and as they're called, freaking out. And I think there is a definite fear within America that they know the end's coming, and they know that it's all going to be taken back from them. And I think there's the thing they're not talking about is this kind of national fear that they've all got.
Yeah. It's a last gasp. We talk about it quite a lot here. Actually, there seems to be a cornered animal fight back, where sort of the end is coming, like you say, and suddenly
their end.
Yeah, exactly. Not the end in general. I didn't just do a Nostradamus.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, America's in real trouble. Let's not go too far down this road, but it is in trouble.
Yeah,
it's a petulant child who's going through its kind of. Yeah. But it's what is it? Teenage years, I suppose now. But it's already burned itself out. But my dad, who died, 93, he used to say even back before then that America will implode before it goes to war with any other country. Yeah. It will have a civil war. So here's the thing, though, about getting shirty. There are so many injustices in the world, especially at the moment, that you can go down a road, I think, that actually makes you redundant in your own world. So you end up being the person who's always angry and takes that, well, you see something on the news and you see some horrible act of violence in a war, and you take that and you then get really angry about it all the time. So therefore, what good are you doing to your close friends and family? And I know it's difficult, but I think when people take it on so much that it becomes obsessive in a sense of injustice, I think that's no good for anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good for your own health, and I don't think it's good for anyone around you. But I see why people go there, because no one's doing anything. That's the other thing. The classic, talk about injustice. I mean, we live in a world where there doesn't seem to be. Yeah. But of course, now we have all the trials of Trump. And those trials are, for the first time since he came on the scene, we're going, oh, there is justice.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But of course, the people that voted for him are saying that's the injustice. Yeah. Is the fact that it's all... But, that's the classic. So, injustice, I think, would be, my main get shirty.
Yeah, and in the workplace,
so much, doesn't it?
Where it does, but, if you look at it specifically from a workplace, that's a difficult, and there's so many ways in which it can happen. Somebody gets promoted over you, or someone gets a part over you, or the person who's meant to be leading, sort of steering the ship, steering it in a way that isn't making anybody happy. It's...
If I had to dissect injustice, I would put bullying at the top.
Yeah.
I think bullying is the worst.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what I'm probably meant to say at the beginning, really, because the injustice of the bully, thinking that he can treat people, or anyone who gets, a child who gets berated, they don't understand why, or, then you go down the whole kind of like people smacking animals and things. Do you know what I mean? That kind of bully is,
And it's the fact that all too often a bully seems to prevail somehow.
Supposedly.
And that's the thing. Back in, you go back to the 70s, it was the bully who would rise to the top.
Yeah.
Because they shove everybody else out of the way.
Yeah.
It's a bit like here, really. That's what the wooden rulers are for.
Now, there's a modern bullying now, of course, where they don't appear to be a bully.
Yeah.
Yeah. But really, they're still bullying.
Yeah.
It's just done all done with smiles and...
Yeah. Kind words.
Have you spent much time in the States?
Do you know, I haven't. Been once, actually.
They do this incredible hug. The American hug has someone in between you both. So they'll hug you, but it won't be a hug.
Right.
Because that's a bit weird. Which I can kind of understand.
Yeah.
It's just it's an air hug.
Right.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
Like their air kisses. It's a way of doing it, but without...
Right, is that
actually
quite
touching you?
Is that like
Maybe it's just me.
Yeah. Have you witnessed this with anybody else?
Here he comes.
Here comes James. Air hugs, everybody. Air hugs at the ready.
Dawn French tells a lovely story of when Lenny Henry was doing... What was the film he did where he whited up? Do you remember? He played a thing where he had to disguise himself. I think he was on the run and he had to disguise himself as a white guy.
What was that called?
I've forgotten what it was called, but she went over really with him.
Right.
So while she was over there, obviously her agent arranged some meetings for her. So they said, oh my God, Lenny Henry's wife's coming in. Oh my God, can't wait. And she'd come in the door, and as soon as the casting director would see her, or the agent, they would tilt their head to the side and go, oh. Like that. Whoa. Like, what a shame. Oh, God. So literally tilt their head and go, oh, bless, look at you.
Yeah.
I can't do anything with that.
Yeah.
She said literally it was like, one of the most awful times.
Yeah, and I suppose from a...
She's lovely, by the way.
Have you met her?
I've never met her, but she sent us the biggest basket of cookies I've ever seen in my life after she came to see Warhorse. And it wasn't a press night, it wasn't a special... She just came, we didn't know she was in, and we just got this enormous basket. I mean, there were like 40 in the cast, so...
right.
Yeah.
So were you in...
Then, I think she's lovely.
Were you in the same time as Nigel?
Nigel Betts, I was.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We shared a dressing room.
Did you?
2 big boys in the dressing room and a couple of others as well. There's 4 of us.
Was there?
Yeah, it was like some sort of medical experiment, I think they do.
Put them all in there.
Yeah.
Send in the cookies.
We used to have a lot of Haribo for the horse puppeteers as well. I used to buy pretty much about 2 or 3 packs a day for them.
Right.
So when they came off and lugged their horse frame off, I would give them sugar
from the palm of your hand, like that.
Exactly. Come on.
Get over here. Come on.
The thing to do is not to do it face on. It's always to turn away.
To the side. Never stand behind them.
Exactly. No, never. Never. Do you know?
True identity.
This is true.
Oh, True Identity. Is that what it was called? Well done, Stu.
Oh, very well done.
Actually, Lenny Henry's in Tunbridge Wells in a couple of weeks at the Literary Festival. So
Oh, great. He's meant to be very nice as well.
I could bring him in.
You certainly hear about the ones that aren't nice.
Yeah. Don't name names.
I've given you the list, haven't I?
Yeah, you have. Yeah,
just ask drivers.
Yeah.
In fact, some actors get into a car when they're picked up in the morning, because here you make sure an actor arrives, so you get a car sent to you. In America, you have to drive yourself. Very strange.
I heard about that.
Isn't that odd?
Yeah, it is
You
really
think,
odd.
we always get less.
Yeah.
The English actors always get less than the Americans, always.
Right.
So they do a lot of shooting over here in Europe because it's cheaper to move production here or in Bulgaria or something.
Right.
When we fly there from here, it's cheaper to pay for all those hotels and flights than it is to shoot it in America.
Wow.
Because we're so much cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we have to... so you ask a driver, just say, okay, who are the worst people you've ever driven?
So look, there's work. There's your work kit, Shirties. And have you got any from home at all? I mean, we've had all sorts. Like Nigel, talking about your friend and our friend Nigel.
Yeah, Nigel's always in a relationship, though. He's always married.
Oh, is he always?
Always.
He
I
was
don't know
born
why.
married.
He's got about 9 children from 12 different women. I don't quite understand.
Right.
He seems to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I have come to the point. I've been single for a couple of years, and I have to say, after a long relationship, and I have to say that it's connected everything for me. I've gone, this is what I was before. This is what I really enjoyed about my life. And it's not the fact that the person was horrible to live with, but I love solitude.
Right.
I think I genuinely think back. I've got 3 brothers, and all my memories are of me on my own with a bike in a field of corn in Worcestershire, lying up at the clouds, and I just remember myself.
Jane Seymour just out of shot.
My brother in a wig, but when Sam came along, obviously I had someone to and then he followed me into the profession.
Right.
Okay. He's a lovely actor, Sam, and him and I used to do all sorts of scenes from all sorts of things, but my memory of being on my own and being happy is very, very prominent. And I think I'm happier being on my own.
Right.
And I think I can invite all different elements in my life, and the love you have for close friends and things become stronger again.
Yeah.
There's definitely a thing when you get into a relationship where you give everything to that relationship, and a lot of those other relationships that you've got in your life suffer.
Yeah.
And they do suffer. And I've lost friendships. Because you've just kind of lost touch and you kind of don't make the effort, and now you're involved with someone and they're married, and you don't see enough of each other, and all that's coming back over the last 2 years, all those connections and all those friendships and all that. And I think it's definitely where I want to be. I can't see myself being with anyone at all. I mean, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the time when it will happen. It's like,
Sure, yeah.
as soon as an actor goes and gets a regular job off and the phone goes and says, you've got the gig, and you're like, I know I said I wasn't working, right? But I've literally got a job.
Yeah.
But I find home life very interesting, because it's always one person's opinion about how clean something should be compared to another person. Some levels of hygiene and stuff.
Yeah.
I had a very high standard with my ex, but often I would sort of, if she was away for a couple of days, I would let it go, and I would just not put the dishwasher on, or not, clear that away. But I'm not a pig.
No.
But in her eyes, it'd be like, oh my God, look at the way you're living.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I just haven't wiped down the side after having a bacon sarnie or something. So I think that's that. I mean, I think What gripes do people have then about home? Is it about hogging the bed?
Dishwashers come up a couple of times. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kitchen tops has come up.
Oh yes, I heard that on Adams.
Yeah. So it's that sort. It's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's generally.
By
that.
the way, while we're on Adam, sorry to go, but while we're on Adam, it's just reminded me. Have you heard his cover version of Quantum of Solace?
Do you know? I have.
It's genius.
Yeah, it is good.
It's genius
because him and Joe did one each, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did on their radio show. They did one each to do when the film came out.
Yeah.
They did their own.
Because it was such a ridiculous title. Everyone went, "Oh,
what? Yeah.
What's
it doesn't
that?"
make sense.
And someone's put it to the credits on YouTube, so it's now with the actual credits
really
from
brilliant.
the film.
Yeah,
I think "Boris of Nothing" is my favourite lyric in it. The Boris of Nothing. Did I get that quite right? So every time he sings Quantum of Solace, he makes up some ridiculous sentence.
Yeah.
It's so juvenile. But I bet you he's a Bond fan as well, because when Bond gets it wrong, like Alan Partridge says, "Don't get Bond wrong," it does hurt if you're a Bond fan. Yeah.
And you're a big...
Sorry, we've deviated from home.
Deviate all your life.
Home basically it's all the usual things like duvets. Hogging the duvet, and I'm a spreader, I'm a wriggler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm a mad dream. I mean, I dream incredibly mad dreams.
Right.
Like full on other world stuff. And I remember them as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I've got into third eye, activation, and I haven't got the lucid dreaming down yet, but I'm just about to enter into that.
That's just drugs.
Wow.
It's major drugs, yeah.
And coffee?
And coffee. I love coffee, yeah. That's my only real drug now. I have a little bit of the old nicotine sometimes, but coffee is my love. I adore coffee. But I'll have a coffee at 11 at night, just so I'll have mad dreams tomorrow, Cheese normally tips it over the edge at night.
Too much.
The cheese dreams are... that's just something. You just don't want to go there. What did I have last night? I was. Oh no, I had the classic. I had the classic actor's dream. I was with an old mate from The Bill, Pal Aaron, who I was at drama school with. Pal's a lovely actor, and I was with him, and somebody handed me the script and went, "So okay, let's get ready to rehearse." And it's the first time I'd seen the script, first time I'd been on set. I had that quite a lot, where you just go, "Sorry, what? Can you just give me a couple of secs?" And I'm looking through it, and there are pages and pages of dialogue, and I'm going, I haven't got a clue. I'm going to have to read this, and everyone's going, "What do you mean you have to read it?"
Yeah.
Just like horror dreams, and then it wakes you up in the middle of the night, and luckily I'll go back to sleep and probably have another dream.
Is that the actors?
Cancels that dream out.
Yeah. Is that the actors' equivalent of walking through school without your trousers on? Dream.
Normally with actors, they have no trousers on as well.
Ah, really?
Always no trousers.
Long script, no trousers.
Exactly. So no, it is the classic. Yeah, it's the classic. Yeah. Or you're on stage. Normally mine is being handed a costume or a script.
Right.
Quite often in the dressing room, they'll just say you're just sitting there. That's your script on top of your costume.
Right.
And it's the same reaction every time.
None of my dreams are colour either.
Are they not?
No, it's all sepia with me.
Sepia, not black and white?
No, it's sepia.
I've never heard that before. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I haven't got much mind's eye. That's the trouble.
What
So
does that mean?
if I think about something, I can only picture so much of it, and then I have to let it go and then picture the next bit.
What if you're sitting here now and I said, okay, picture, you can't just keep going like a film, like constant.
No, not. Do you remember the old computer games where, as the character ran around, it would build the world in front of you as you ran around?
Oh, yeah.
It's like that.
Oh, wow.
So,
have you seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
I haven't, no.
You'd love it.
Right.
Because that's all about the segments of dreams. And at one point he even uses, Spike Jonze, I think, is the director, he even uses different lighting sources to shut down and then start up to show.
Oh, right, okay.
And he'll build sets in the same room that will appear like it's a completely different dream. So the camera will just spin.
Oh, right.
And then all of a sudden the sets will be big and then all the characters will be little.
Right.
Like little kids. There's one point where he's in the sink in the kitchen, just sitting there. It's Jim Carrey. It's a brilliant film.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
But that's amazing. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Sepia.
Yeah, sepia. It's always sepia.
Do you think Rees Mogg dreams in sepia?
Probably.
Yeah. He'll dream in that kind of everyone's too fast.
Yeah. However he dreams, there'll be somebody turning the little wheel for him.
Yes. Yeah. No
Faster,
pants.
Nanny.
Yeah.
Everybody's walking too slow. Yeah, so my mind's eye, like I can picture an object, but not brilliantly well.
My mum doesn't ever.
Right, okay.
She said, I don't dream, but if I do, I don't remember them.
Right.
That makes me sad.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I go to bed going, oh, where am I going to...
Oh, really?
Yeah, where am I going to
Do you
go?
dream every night?
I can't...
would you say?
I never feel like I haven't had a dream.
All right.
Ever.
See, that's quite unusual, I would say.
What, to dream every time you...
Yeah, and to be able to remember them consistently, because that's sort of the level of sleep that you get to.
You
isn't
have to make a conscious daytime decision to make a note of your dreams.
Right.
So that thing about having a book by your bed is a real that notebook. Or I just grab the iPhone and I just quickly... But I don't want to disturb the iPhone now because they've got that amazing thing where when you turn it on its side, it's a lovely clock in red. I love gadgets. Yeah. I should work for Q Branch, really.
All right.
Yes.
There's super gadgets. What's your most ridiculous gadget that you use?
What's my most ridiculous? I mean, all my gadgets really should be rented and then given back because you normally use them once or twice and then they get put inside. I've got lots of iPhone stands.
Right.
Like on various tables, kitchen, bathroom. So when I'm doing anything, I can just
stand there.
I'm just fed up with just putting the iPhone on. I've had those for a while. My Apple Pencil's amazing.
Right. Absolutely
love it on the iPad. Drawing. It's amazing. It's brought back my love of drawing, and I do it more often now.
Right, okay.
I've got a camera. I do love camera equipment because I do short films with people and stuff. And I I bought one which is on movable, 2 sets of wheels that are movable, but there's like a bar in between. I'm not really describing this very well, but basically it means you can move the angle of it in whatever angle, so you can actually go around an object. You can shoot if you're someone who likes to take video of food products and stuff for a job. I haven't actually used that yet. So I did a commercial yesterday, which was an 80s pop song. We had to dance to it as workmen, and it was like a do it as if you're not a good dancer, which is quite fortunate because I actually am quite a good. I can move in time very well. But my dance moves, when I was at drama school, the dance teacher said, I like James, I do. He can dance, you know. I just wish he'd do my steps. And I think that's me. I just have fun. If someone asked me to dance like going out now, especially not drinking, no.
Right.
Not interested. It makes me feel like a fool.
Right.
As soon as I start dancing, in my head I go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is a waste of time. What is this? Moving your feet up and down and doing the arms? This is ridiculous.
All right.
And it doesn't make me embarrassed about dancing. I just don't see a point in it.
Yeah, okay.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And yet when people are completely connected to something, that's it. I can see why people, but you know, I've been to Cuba, and I've literally, luckily, local guys dance with all the tourists. So luckily, my girlfriend was with a really good dancer.
Yeah.
And I would sit there with a bit of a Cuban cigar going on. And, I'm much more a big chair, talking, chatty, cigar.
Yeah.
When I was drinking a little brandy maybe or a really strong coffee.
Yeah, see that does sound good.
Yeah.
I do like a dance though.
Do you?
I have to,
do you?
Oh, yeah, I do.
What would get you on the dance floor?
Anything.
Oh, would you really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Pretty
Do we have
much.
any video?
There might be actually.
Very good.
Yeah, so anything where I can. Well, back in the day, right, the song of choice was
Last
always
Thursday.
Yeah. So this morning before I came in, so back in the day it used to be Delight, Groove is in the Heart. As soon as that came on, I was just like, right, see you later.
Very good.
On my own, I wouldn't care. I don't.
Very good.
But since then, anything that is, requires some sort of movement. In fact, Stu's the same. He looks it. I've looked at him and he went,
Yeah.
But actually, we went to an award show. We won the award. Oh, no, we didn't win that year, did we?
No. I thought you won.
We have won. We've won one.
I was going to say that was the reason I came on.
Well, no, we are award winning.
I only work with award winners, you see.
Well, quite right. Creative business of. Very good. Oh, the lip as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Keep going. It was great. I was slightly off-put then. It was like he was in the room.
Another one of my heroes.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
It's quite right too.
Yeah.
I mean,
we could have a whole podcast about.
Well, yeah. I'm sure there is actually. There must be. Yeah. But yeah. So we were at the awards ceremony. We didn't win that year. We were up for Creative Business of the Year. We didn't win that year, but we won the following year. But
Right.
that night they have like a dinner,
Yes.
gala dinner.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
And the band afterwards, first people up, me and Stu.
Fantastic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
We had to take the wives up as well.
Drag.
Drag, yeah. Yeah, but we were out there, yeah.
I kind of, I kind of wish I did that. I'm happier not.
Yeah, look, that I can understand. I can understand that as well. There's always that point, I think, in life where as soon as something seems a bit ridiculous or slightly pointless,
Yeah.
you've either got to throw yourself at it or go, actually,
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
Doesn't make me happy.
Yeah, and if it doesn't
Yeah.
make you happy.
It's a little bit curb. It's a little bit curb your enthusiasm. Just do what makes you happy.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Why not?
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, but having a dance, I sort of like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I could probably get up for one.
Yeah.
And then everyone would go, "Oh, he's funny, isn't he?"
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, "I don't want to entertain you all night."
Yeah, I don't like it as soon as yeah.
And I wasn't
Just
even
for
trying
one
to
song.
entertain them.
Yeah. Just as soon as it's my arms. As soon as I think, what am I doing with my arms?
Yeah.
What should my arms be doing now?
Arms is easy.
Yeah.
80s is all
Oh.
just arms. There was no footwork.
Yeah.
You just stood there and just.
Oh no, you had the heel, the Rick Astley. We used to call that the Kenny at school. I don't know why.
Yeah, and then there was the low one. What were they called? Get right down, get right down, right back down to earth. And they used to go. They used to go really
Curiosity
low.
Killed the Cat.
Curiosity. He used to love getting
Yeah.
low. He had
Yeah,
a
he
beret,
did-
didn't
he did.
He used to
He
love
did,
that.
yeah,
so there was
Ben-
that kind of like 80s.
Yeah, I can't do
There was
that.
a lot of arms.
Yeah, but
A lot of
I'm
arms.
not. Yeah,
I've danced on camera.
have you? And
I say dance. I boogied in a commercial for Vodafone.
Did
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Available on YouTube?
Probably, yeah.
Good,
It was a
well,
campaign a couple of years ago.
Oh, we'll have a little. Look at
And
that.
that commercial self-tape was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was. I chose "The Sun Always Shines on TV" by a-ha.
Did
And
you?
I was bad dad dancing.
Right.
Self-tape, and weirdly I got it.
Yeah, nice. Well, that's a hard song to dance to, though.
Well, I did
isn't
it. My girlfriend at the time went, "Are you going to do a bad version now? A good version now?"
Yeah.
I messed up the joke. Can we go back? What do you mean it's live?
Yeah. Do you want to do that one again as well?
No.
Take the name out. So look,
Give
so
the people
we've
what
actually
they
we've done home and work.
Yes.
So all that's left. Well, there's two left at
Don't go out dancing.
Yeah.
dance, and we have done going out.
I'm not really that shirty anymore, you see.
No, you're really not.
Have I got any good shirty stories? Not really. I mean,
What about other people getting shirty? Like classic, you don't have to name names, but classic all-time, like, whoa, where did that come from?
yeah, I can't.
I've
I can't
done
tell.
a couple of those here.
I can't tell one because it happened about a few years ago. The thing about being shirty is when people are really in a genuine. I think the last time I got really shirty and I saw a face of my neighbour who didn't recognise me. I've been there 9 years. So it was only last year. The dustman got into we had a terrible company that didn't do their job at all well, didn't pay their guys properly, and all that kind of stuff. So the dustman didn't give a damn about anything that they were doing. They used to leave litter, they used to literally
litter on the floor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
So
after
I
they'd
literally
been.
have to go around every Monday morning with a broom if I was at home and clean up. And the one time it happened, he tried to get money out of a neighbour. He said that'd be 20 quid for cardboard because it's bulk. And I overheard it and I went, "What did you say?" And he was trying to get money from the
No
neighbour.
way.
Yeah. So we complained, but at the time, I remember him saying something and driving up, and I went, and I started to have a go at him. But then as I finished having a go at him, and there was no swearing, I don't think.
Right.
It was just like, every week I have to do this. I'm going on here. Like this. By that time, the dust truck has already turned left and is down the main high street. And I'm there with a broom in my hand. And I remember turning and seeing my neighbour's face, this lovely neighbour who lives opposite me. And the look on her face was like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you? What have you become?" And literally, but I think when people are in them,
Yep.
in that place,
Yeah.
seeing red,
Yeah.
it is frightening for people around. But actually, it feels right at the time for you.
Yeah.
Of course, it does. I don't know where I got it from. I think I may have got it from my mum.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
weirdly, both sides of my mum and dad both were involved in amateur dramatics,
Right.
of some kind of performing, which is interesting.
Yeah. Did you do Dram before you?
How dare you?
Before, sir. Before.
Well, I worked at a lovely theatre that was built by amateurs called the Swan Theatre in Worcester.
Right.
And I think they're mainly a visiting company. I don't know if there's a rep there, but when I was a kid, there was a rep there, which was brilliant. So you got all these actors straight out of Guildhall and RADA getting their equity cards.
Yeah.
And I first, when I was about 12 or 13, a young actor came to get his equity card called Kevin Francis. He's now my agent. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So we hadn't seen each other for years and years, and then I got into the making showreels for other actors, and I contacted him and said, look, just let your clients know. I'll do them a special deal, because I remember you from when we started to talk, and we got on so well in that relationship that when I was looking for a new agent, there was no question really.
All right.
I just called him, and he's been my agent for years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's really the one that got me all the films that I've been wanting to get for so many years, auditions for, for meetings for movies and better telly stuff.
Right.
Really, and he's really kind of made it happen, which is
great. And lovely that it's sort of done that.
I know.
Full circle kind of thing.
I know, yeah. He was a nice actor as well. So many people go into this profession and end up doing something other than acting.
Right.
They'll do it for a while and think, actually, that's nice, I want to try that. Casting, directing or producing or whatever.
Sort of like the world, but don't necessarily want to be the sort of the in front of the camera or
but also
on the
I think there's something wonderful about creating, and actors don't really, they create in a sense in the way that they can bring a character to life, but really the main creators are writers and directors, and and seeing that vision, and saying this is the idea this is the story I want to make, and this is how I want it to look. Are you in? And the actors really are the last thing to come up. And I like that challenge as an actor. Yeah. When someone says to me, "You've got a thing," and you literally walk on set, and they've been there since. I mean, wardrobe have probably been there since about 4 a.m., 4:30.
Crazy. Getting
everything ready. You got all the guys, setting up all the unit trailers and everything, and then the crew start arriving. They're all right. You're still being picked up. Wherever you're, the hotel or whatever. Yeah. You're having a nice breakfast. You get in about 7 o'clock. Everyone's already set up and ready to go. Yeah. So you're the very last piece of the thing the piece of the puzzle that fits into all of that work. And I think if you know that as an actor, especially on telly, you have so much respect for them. Yeah. That it takes away all the ego. Yeah. And I think, could I put ego in as a shirty thing? Yeah. Because I think ego is the thing that destroys so much. If people can because I know when people are scared, the ego tends to be bigger because they're being too defensive, or they think they're too wonderful, but they don't really think they're that wonderful, do they? I don't think they do.
I don't think so.
So if you have no ego, if it's not about you, then the only other thing it can be about is the thing that you're in. Yeah. So now you care about the story, and you care about your part within that story. Sure. I did a Casualty recently, and all the script stuff there was 2 moments that were real moments. It hasn't come out yet, so I can't talk about it. A real moment where my character and the other character, something happens, and it all went on the day. It's like, no time, no, we're not going to do that. And it was the thing that really made me want to do the part. Right. I would have done it anyway. Yeah. I need the money. But you just have to work as an actor. But that was the thing that I went, and quite often that'll happen with a shooting script. You'll suddenly, it won't get done, or it won't be shot in the way that you think it will, or it'll come out. I've been in things where, and it's probably only me, I've been in things where there's a 2-shot, and the regular actor in the program was sharp, right, visually sharp, and I was soft. Right. They literally went, and sometimes, what did I watch yesterday? I think it was True Detective, where there was a shot of someone looking up, and it was like someone waking up after having been unconscious. And all around the outside of the frame was blurry. And there was a doctor in the scene who was talking to someone on a bed, and that was his only scene, but you couldn't see his face. Oh, no. Because they put this blurry effect from the POV of the person on the bed. So I think that poor actor...
doing his best work.
I've got this great... No, I think it was Dark Waters, Dark something. It's on Now TV, a Sky thing. It's really good. Set on a reservation in America. Really, really good. But that was his only scene. Wow. And I did think, you poor bugger. Yeah. But he's contributing to the story in the way that person wants it told.
Is that called the Mike Wazowski effect? Have you seen Monsters, Inc.?
Oh no, I have.
Yeah, where he's
Yeah, yeah,
always,
yeah.
we're on the cover of this, and he's always covered up, but he's always like, wow, I can't
exactly-
believe I'm in there.
That's exactly
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's exactly it. I've forgotten that, actually.
Yeah.
That's very good. Oh, in the night of as well, it happens. There's a scene where she collects her belongings from I think she's been in jail for the evening, and she has a whole scene with the woman behind you never see her face.
Right.
It's always just a shot, of her hands. And it's just like, wow, that was
Yeah.
your only scene. Yeah, I do think about that quite a lot with people. But if you have no ego, and if you're like,
Sort to service.
I get it.
Yeah.
I do get it. I've done a regular gig called WPC 56 for 2 seasons, and that was lovely.
I was instructed by my wife to talk to you about that.
Oh, well, luckily I mentioned it then. I was
Yeah,
about to go.
Yeah, well, exactly. I've been waiting, and I thought I'll bring it up in a minute. But just because she said how good you were in that.
Oh,
So,
lovely.
she really enjoyed it.
It was a really lovely show.
Yeah, and because I didn't see it, I must confess, you were a niggly character in that. You sort of, but then had a romantic.
Yeah,
Crush.
she kind of sorted me out.
Yeah.
Rachel Lescavot, a wonderful actor who's now in Waterloo Road.
Right.
She's been here for a couple of seasons now, but she did Corrie and stuff as well. And Rachel and I got on so well. We had such great time on that. But her character basically, because it was set in 1956, that's where the title comes from. And he was dealing with his old-fashioned values towards homosexuality or race or whatever the subject was, and she really kind of sorted him out, and and made him a much happier, calmer, chilled out guy. Yeah, it's nice though. It was a nice part as well.
Yeah.
Got to wear sock garters.
Oh.
Yes, I actually asked for them actually.
Did you?
Sock garters. And I remember once I was in the middle of trying to get my first mortgage, and I was in the Malmaison Hotel in Birmingham in my sock garters, my boxer shorts and my vest, and I'm with my tash, and they used to spray I think it's called Millions on your hair to make it look like you haven't got any baldy bits.
Right.
So I've got all this kind of like dark makeup on my moustache and my hair and everything as well. And it's like I think it was like 1 a.m. because Metro Bank had a 24-hour phone service at one point. And I was trying to get my mortgage, and they got my middle name wrong, and it had always been wrong since I opened the bank account, and that was going to stop me getting my first house.
Right.
So I was on the phone to Metro going, "What do you mean I'm not Philip? My middle name's not Philip." And I caught myself in the mirror, and I just saw the boxers, the vest, and as you know, I'm not a slight guy, and the sock garters, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
One of the life affirming moments.
That's true.
Have
Since I saw sock garters, that was Eric Morecombe who used to wear them.
Yeah.
And every time I saw them, I went, "Oh, I've got to have. I've still got them at home."
Have you?
Yeah, I borrowed those.
Have
from
you seen
WPC.
the sock to shirt ones that keep your socks up and your shirt tucked in?
I'm not sure I like that.
No.
So it
Sort of
goes.
high risk.
Does the shirt go under the pant?
Over? Well, I suppose if you've got to pull your pants down, it's going to have to go under the pant.
There was a guy at drama school who used to put his shirt all the way through.
Pull it out through the bottom of the legs.
Yeah,
not good. That's not good in any way, shape, or form.
No. But then again, I saw a guy in just by on Venice Beach in LA. Where there's like a muscle beach bit. And next to that there's some like iron sort of metal toilets that all the kind of homeless people go in and clean.
This is taking a turn. Keep going.
As I go in, there's a line of urinals. A man has lowered his jeans, taken his pants all the way down to his ankles, and is weeing at the urinal with his bare ass out. Yeah,
that's
a first for me.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before.
That's the toddler approach.
Yeah,
isn't it?
He was this blonde kind of surfer dude in his 30s.
Yeah.
There he was, pants down, white fronts all the way down to the bottom.
White fronts.
Yeah, proper old school.
Proper old school.
Yeah, never seen that before. No,
you have stopped doing that, Stu. Yeah.
At least you're wearing them now.
Yeah. Let's say we've done work, home, and going out. We'll take the dance.
Oh, okay.
I think so. That just leaves the one final one. There is one last one, which is we haven't done this in every one, but now we have a last section called off the cuff. Now.
Very good.
Which is the hat. Now,
I don't mind the hat.
Adam Buxton suggested that we put them onto a cuff. Now, that makes sense.
Personally, I think he made too much out of it.
Oh, do you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
But So we are keeping the hat because we like the fact that it's called off the cuff from a hat.
Yeah, I think the hat has through the years, has always been, a way of
From the hat.
digging out something.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
got two there. Got
Oh.
three there. Oh, look, I'm going to hang on to one. There we go. And the subject I have to talk about is James Barriscale. Isn't that weird?
wow, that is weird.
Isn't that strange? He's a lovely guy, I have
He
to
is.
say. Very talented.
Yes,
Not very expensive.
quite.
I have something which is really interesting because I'm so not into anything to do with sports.
Sports.
Interesting.
So, what would be your get shirty? Just sport in general? You just don't like it? Rugby's come up a couple of times.
So I wasn't forced to play rugby, but
Right.
my dad said, come on, come play rugby. And I remember standing there after having been down the local youth theatre and gone to youth theatre for 1 week. I was like, and I couldn't do both because they both happened on Sundays.
Oh.
And I went back to rugby the next week. My dad said, no, you need to go back to rugby. And I was like, oh. And I stood there and I saw a ball coming towards me. It was a high kick. And all I had to do was lift my arms to catch it.
Yeah.
It was an easy catch. And I took that opportunity just to step one step to the right and let it hit the floor. And I looked up and saw my dad's face. And my dad still kills me a little bit. But he went, he doesn't want to do this.
He doesn't want to
anymore.
be here.
No. And then I told him about youth theatre and I said, I want to go back. And they were lovely, actually. They
Right.
never, ever didn't support me.
Right.
But there was a real scumbag who used to do sports at my. I changed schools when I was 13
Yeah.
to go to comp. My parents thought that private school was the way to go, and then they ran out of money,
Right.
and then they sent me to comprehensive for the
Yeah.
last 2 years. So all those mates who I'd been mates with in primary school were then in the fourth year going, oh, here he comes. Thinks he's too good for us. I'm like, oh, here we go. It's going to be a fun 2 years. I say, do I know you? And I tell you what, there was a lot more bullying at private school than there was at comp.
Yeah, I can believe it, actually.
Yeah. It wasn't called a high school in those days.
Right.
But there was a real arsehole who used to do sports. And on the first day, it was like
Well,
being
as
in
in
prison.
teacher?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was like being in prison. I thought, okay, this is my first day back. I've been in private school for 3 years.
I'm gonna
I've got
get
to keep
kicking.
something. And rather than hit the largest kid in the playground, the guy said, the sports teacher went, oh, Barriscale, yeah, we've had a few of your, we had your brothers. He started to make an issue out of it. And I was like, this is the last thing I need.
Yeah.
I've just come back, And
Yeah.
he said to me, tell me how you spell your name again. I don't know why he said that. But in without even thinking, I went, Fuckoff.
Did you?
I don't know where it came from. And he went, get out, go and see headmaster.
Yeah.
So I had to leave. But I think it was the best thing I could have done. Because everyone in my class, all the boys went, he's a bit weird, isn't he? Why did he say that?
Yeah, that's not how you spell it, idiot. They taught him nothing at that
I
school.
don't know why I did that. Very strange.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good though to have that,
But
to put that sort
I
of...
think it's because sports people, that's a big generalisation. That's like saying actors.
Yeah.
But the people I've come into contact with in an educational,
Yeah.
because I haven't done it since then, have always been very alpha male-y, kind of aggressive. This is the only way is to do it, And I did some running when I was at comp.
Right.
I did actually end up doing 1,400 metres, I think. I came
Oh, did
fourth
you?
or something.
Wow.
Can't remember, but I trained for it. I remember training
Yeah.
for it, and I don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
Strange thing to do.
Strange man.
I like sports. I like, it's all right. I don't have any.
Yeah. No real... But PE teachers, look, that's one we can all get behind.
Yeah.
I had one when, because I used to live up near Darlington.
Can of worms.
Yeah. Well, it is. Well, and this particular teacher was called Mr. Argument.
Where are those tissues?
Yeah.
You're going to be all right.
No. I'm about to go any minute now.
Oh, my God.
Oh, here we go. No, he was called Mr. Argument, and he used to...
No, he wasn't.
yeah, he's behind you.
Fuckoff.
But, and he, the very first lesson with him, he said, it's argument by name, argument by nature.
He did not.
He did.
What a strange man.
We were 11. Ego, wasn't it?
There you go.
Yeah,
Ego.
yeah.
Well, it's also a generational thing. They did it to us. We're going to do it to
Yeah.
you. That's not right.
No. I had board rubbers thrown at my head.
Oh, yeah.
Ear pinching was
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
Hated that.
Yeah.
There was something to be said for getting that, like with your PE teacher. It set you up. It sort of gave you that sort of equal footing with everybody else.
I thought I was in a prison movie or something. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, so I am auditioning for Scum here, aren't I? Surely.
Well, I was thinking more Stir Crazy with Gene Wilder and
Oh, no,
Richard Pryor,
there's a
but-
movie. That's a great movie.
Well, here's the thing. You could do a whole podcast on actor-directors.
Right.
Because that's Sidney Poitier. Then you've got Night of the Hunter, which is Charles Lawton.
Right.
And I saw one the other day, which is called Rage, which was actor-directed. I can't think of the guy's name now. Rod Steiger, I think. Who's the guy that played Patton? That actor. I always forget his name, but he plays the lead in Rage.
Right.
And that's just a revenge thing, like a man who just blows up and just loses it.
Yeah.
And he directed that. Brilliant.
Right.
Actor-director. And often it's only one film. Night of the Hunter is superb.
Right.
Charles Lawton directed Robert Mitchum in that. Do you remember the Whistling Priest
Oh, right, okay.
with Love and Hate, and there's buried money at the beginning of the film?
Yeah.
He's basically
George C. Scott
George C. Scott in Rage. Yeah,
and Patton.
yeah, and Patton. He's great, and I'm pretty sure he hasn't directed anything else. There you go, Sidney Poitier. I think Sidney Poitier directed a couple of other films. He did a spy film, I think, with Robert Redford and someone else. But Stir Crazy is really good.
Yeah.
And that's Sidney Poitier, yeah. But comedy is a massive part of my life.
Right.
I think comedy should be where drama is, and drama should be where comedy is. Awards-wise, comedy to me is the greatest gift to mankind.
Very difficult to make people laugh.
Yeah, but it's also the most incredible thing.
Yeah.
I don't think acting and crying and being realistic is the thing that we should honour
Yeah.
over
yeah.
comedy.
Right.
I really don't. Because comedy... Why do you think the awards is full of skits and sketches and comedy bits? It's because that's what we want.
Want to see.
And yet the awards don't mirror that. It's very odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
it
can't
is,
get
I
best
suppose,
actor.
isn't it?
You're just best funny person.
Yeah. Which is lesser.
Yeah, so they all have
Yeah.
to go into the serious. Steve Carell or Jim. They have to go into a dramatic role to get an Oscar.
Yeah.
But I think awards are nonsense anyway.
I was listening to another podcast. There are other podcasts. It's weird.
It's strange.
It's not just this one.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
But you
I know.
are right at the top, aren't you?
Right at the
chart?
top.
I
We
saw
are
that.
chart, fashion and beauty chart. We are all across the world.
Is that next
across
to the shopping channel?
Yeah. No, it's we're doing all right actually. I was quite surprised.
Great.
But
Of course, my fee has gone up.
yes, the two shirts, sir.
That's from Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
When he goes, my grandfather worked for your grandfather. And he goes, of course, the rates have gone up.
It's the old, it was Abby Normal. So that is a great movie. What was I saying?
All about podcasts.
Yeah, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
I was listening to another podcast.
Yes.
The Rest is Entertainment, actually, with Richard Osman. It's good.
Oh,
Talks
great.
about the sort of industry and behind the scenes a little bit as well.
Yes, yeah.
But they were saying in that how something like the Oscar doesn't reflect what people are actually watching anymore,
No, of course not.
because people don't go and see an indie film at the cinema, and they go and
course.
see blockbusters, Marvel movies, big horrors, and of course none of these things get Best Actor awards.
No.
So more and more that the Oscars is representing a smaller and smaller proportion of
How
films.
interesting is that?
And when you look at it, I hadn't really thought about it like that, but we're in a position now where these films are going to win big awards, but no one's going to go and see them.
Amazing. So if you put the Oscars at the cinema, nobody would go and see the Oscars. Yeah, but all awards, I think, are weird.
Yeah, well, especially business awards. Do you know what's strange about business awards? You have to fully, I suppose it's the same as film awards, you have to fully nominate yourself, write your own application.
Oh, do you?
You have to sort of go, this is why
I
we
didn't
should
know
get
that.
it. Yeah, you have to sort of,
Like
it's not
filling
just
out a
they go,
lottery
these
grant or
businesses are
something,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to go, this is why
Good Lord.
we should win it, and here's the evidence to back it up, and then a jury look at it and go, yeah, sure, okay, then.
That's a pretty good file they've got there.
Yeah.
I love their photos.
Look at all that.
Yeah.
Look at all the wonderful lies they've just told us.
Yeah.
We didn't
That would
do
make
any
a lot of
it.
sense.
But
But you learn your lesson, and then you slept with the right people in between not winning
and then
winning.
won it the second year. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Anton de Beek handed over that trophy.
Dirty devil.
Yeah,
How wonderful for you, though.
yeah. It was good. It was very good. Yeah,
Well,
it was fun, if nothing else.
I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah, we had a lovely roast dinner for it,
Nice.
which we paid for.
But
But no,
But I read that this all came from the Romans, who didn't want to give away their land to all the different commanders and stuff, so they started to invent garlands instead of
Right.
money and land.
Right.
So that became instead of,
Right.
oh, you're the best at that. Well done, have this. And it would be
Oh.
like, well, I'm going to put that on my front door. And it would be like a sort of but without any kind of giving away money or
Right.
property or land or anything. So it kind of makes sense.
Oh wow.
But now, of course, you get an award and your fee goes up.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, we'll talk about your second shirt. Right, look, James,
You might want a refund. Only what was says.
James, it's been brilliant talking to you.
Oh, it's been a real pleasure.
I'm really looking forward to sort of seeing what your shirt comes out like, and send us some pictures.
Me
and,
too.
Hopefully, we'll speak again.
Thank you so much.
And looking forward to seeing you on our screens again soon.
Great. Can you untie me now?
No, no, you've got to stay.
Damn it.
Another episode of the Get Shirty podcast done and dusted. As always, we must say a massive thank you to our guest, and it was James Barriscale this time. Such a great chat. We could have talked for much longer, and in fact we did once we stopped recording, and you did miss some really good Bond chat, so perhaps we can persuade James to come back on again and talk exclusively Bond. Also, we need to say, as always, a thank you to Dat Hazza for the music, to Stuart Wilson for the editing and production, and to Sam for keeping us ticking along as per usual. Don't forget as well to keep an eye on our social media. You can find us on all the usual, but we've got some great future guests coming up and some exciting podcast news. So until next time, do try not to get too shirty.